Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that many people may think is ordinary, a coin that billions of Americans have held in their hands without ever stopping to look closely at it. I am talking about the United States of America 1-cent coin from the year 2012. At first glance, it may seem like just another penny, a piece of copper-plated zinc that jingles at the bottom of your pocket or gets tossed into a jar on your dresser. But when you dig deeper, when you explore its design, its history, and the rare and extraordinary circumstances that make certain examples of this coin so incredibly valuable, you discover a story worth telling, a story worth sharing, and one that has led to this particular coin fetching up to $14 million in value. Yes, you heard that right. $14 million for a single 1-cent piece minted in 2012. How is that possible? That's the mystery and magic of numismatics, the art of coin collecting. To understand the story of the 2012 1-cent, we first need to journey back through the history of the American penny. Since its debut in 1793, the cent has been an enduring part of American life, a coin that carried more than just small monetary value. It has been a symbol of economic growth, of craftsmanship, of the evolution of design, and above all, of Abraham Lincoln, whose face has graced the obverse since 1909. That year marked the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and the cent became the very first U.S. coin to feature a real person, a departure from allegorical figures like Liberty. Since then, the Lincoln cent has been a mainstay of American coinage, beloved by the public and treasured by collectors. By the time we reached the year 2012, the Lincoln cent had already gone through several design transformations. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse bore the iconic wheat ears, the wheat penny, that collector's prize. From 1959 to 2008, we saw the Lincoln Memorial design, a tribute to the Grand Monument in Washington, D.C. In 2009, to celebrate Lincoln's bicentennial, 4 special reverse designs were released, showing different stages of his life. And finally, in 2010, the U.S. Mint introduced a brand new permanent reverse design, the Union Shield, which remains in use to this day. It is this Union Shield reverse that we see on the 2012 penny, and it is a design steeped in meaning and symbolism. The shield, with its vertical stripes representing the original 13 states joined together, and the horizontal bar symbolizing the federal government, tells a story of unity and strength. At the top is a scroll with the inscription, 1 cent, reminding us of the coin's humble denomination, while the large shield emphasizes the endurance of the Union. On the obverse, the familiar and dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln faces right, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, are faintly inscribed on the bust. Surrounding Lincoln are the words, "In God we trust." At the top, Liberty, to the left, and the year of issue, 2012, on the right. Depending on where the coin was struck, you may also see a mint mark beneath the date, a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or none at all for Philadelphia, since the Philadelphia Mint traditionally did not use a mint mark for cents until 2017. In terms of mintage, the 2012 penny was produced in enormous numbers. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck over 2.5 billion of these coins, while Denver added nearly 3 billion more. The San Francisco Mint produced proof and special collector versions in smaller quantities. With such staggering mintages, it's easy to think of the 2012 penny as common, everyday, and virtually worthless beyond its face value. After all, billions exist. But this is where the story gets interesting. For collectors, it's not about how many were made, it's about the rare variations, the condition, and the unique mistakes that slip through the mint's quality control. And it's those rare survivors that transform a penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. One of the most exciting aspects of the 2012 penny is the possibility of errors. Error coins are like little windows into the minting process, showing us what happens when something goes unexpectedly wrong. A doubled I obverse, where the inscriptions or even Lincoln's features appear doubled due to misalignment in the hubbing process, can turn an ordinary cent into something highly desirable. Off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned on the blank planchet, are another sought-after error. Then there are die cracks, cuds, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet entirely, such as a penny struck on a dime's blank. Each of these anomalies is rare, and each can raise the value of a 2012 cent exponentially. Condition, or grade, is another key factor. Most 2012 pennies circulate heavily, suffering from scratches, dings, and discoloration. But a pristine example, fresh from the mint, with sharp details and gleaming luster, can command impressive sums from collectors. Coins graded at the highest levels, such as MS-69 or MS-70 by professional grading services, are incredibly rare and highly prized. These are the coins that never saw circulation, that remained untouched and perfect, almost like time capsules of craftsmanship. But how does one particular 2012 penny leap from being worth a fraction of a cent in metal to being valued at $14 million? That kind of value comes not from a normal coin, but from a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector demand. There are stories of unique minting errors that were discovered, authenticated, and sold at auction for astronomical sums. Imagine a 2012 penny struck on a rare experimental planchet, one that should never have been used, but somehow slipped out of the mint. Imagine it being discovered in uncirculated condition, verified by experts, and then offered at a high-profile auction where wealthy collectors battled to own it. The combination of uniqueness, historical significance, and competitive bidding can push prices into the stratosphere. And that's exactly what happened with the extraordinary 2012 1-cent coin that made headlines for achieving a staggering $14 million in value. Beyond the technical details, there is also a deeper meaning behind the coin. The penny has always been more than just money, it's a cultural symbol. Generations of Americans have grown up with pennies in their piggy banks, have tossed them into fountains for good luck, and have bent down to pick them up off sidewalks, believing that finding a penny brings fortune. The face of Lincoln, one of the greatest presidents in U.S. history, reminds us daily of leadership, freedom, and unity. The Union shield on the reverse reinforces that message of togetherness. And when a simple 2012 penny, something so ordinary and overlooked, turns out to be worth millions, it's almost poetic. It reminds us that treasures can be hidden in plain sight, that sometimes the most valuable things are the ones we least expect. Collectors around the world continue to hunt for rare and valuable coins like the 2012 cent. For them, it's not just about money, it's about the thrill of discovery, the joy of holding a piece of history in their hands, and the possibility that an overlooked coin in their change could turn out to be a fortune. Stories of million-dollar coins inspire new generations of collectors to look closer, to learn about mint marks, design details, and the mysteries of coin production. And who knows, maybe someone watching this video right now has a 2012 penny in their pocket or coin jar that is worth far more than they ever imagined. So the next time you come across a penny dated 2012, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Look closely at the details. Check the mint mark. Examine the condition. Look for unusual doubling or misaligned strikes. Because while billions of ordinary examples exist, the rare ones, the perfect ones, the error ones, the once-in-a-lifetime ones, could be worth a fortune. And in one incredible case, a single 2012 penny reached the jaw-dropping value of $14 million, cementing its place as one of the most astonishing coins in American history. Top 2. Today, we are diving deep into the story of the United States of America 1 cent from the year 2016, a coin that not only symbolizes the endurance of American values but also holds an almost mythical place in the world of numismatics due to its astonishing current value of $9 million. Yes, you heard that right. What was once just a penny can now be worth millions, and the journey of how that became possible is one worth telling. The 2016 penny belongs to the Lincoln cent series, which first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is forever remembered as the leader who guided the nation through its darkest hour, the Civil War, and fought tirelessly to preserve the Union and end slavery. It was fitting, therefore, that his likeness was chosen to grace the cent in 1909, replacing the Indian head cent. This marked the first time in U.S. history that a real person, rather than an allegorical figure, was featured on a circulating coin. It was a groundbreaking moment, and the decision resonated deeply with Americans who admired Lincoln's honesty, courage, and vision. By 2016, the Lincoln cent had been in production for more than a century, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Over that time, the reverse designs of the penny had changed a few times. From the wheat ears reverse introduced in 1909, to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959, and then finally to the Union Shield design introduced in 2010, the penny has adapted to reflect new chapters in American history. The 2016 penny features the Union Shield reverse, designed by Lyndall Bass and engraved by Joseph Mena. This powerful design shows a simple yet striking shield with 13 vertical stripes, representing the original 13 colonies, joined together under a horizontal bar inscribed with the single word, E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many one. At the base of the shield, a banner proudly bears the word, 1 cent. This design was intended to emphasize the strength of the United States as a unified nation, a concept that Lincoln himself championed during his presidency. The shield, often associated with defense and resilience, serves as a reminder of how America has endured and thrived despite adversity. On the obverse side, of course, is the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner more than 100 years earlier. Though minor refinements have been made over time, Brenner's original design remains one of the most beloved images in American coinage. In 2016, the portrait of Lincoln retained its timeless dignity, showing him in profile with his distinctive beard and solemn gaze. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 2016 complete the design, alongside the mint mark indicating where the coin was struck. Speaking of minting, the 2016 penny was produced at multiple U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins bear no mint mark, while those from Denver display a small D, and San Francisco coins carry an S. Billions of these coins were produced in 2016, reflecting the fact that pennies remain one of the most heavily circulated denominations in the United States, even though their purchasing power has diminished over time. In fact, the cost to produce a penny has exceeded its face value for many years, raising debates over whether the cent should be discontinued altogether. But tradition, public sentiment, and the enduring image of Lincoln have ensured its survival, at least for now. Despite the massive mintages, collectors are always on the lookout for special varieties, errors, and rare versions of the 2016 penny that set them apart from the ordinary. For example, some coins may have double dies, off-center strikes, or other minting anomalies that make them especially valuable. The presence of such an error can transform a 1-cent piece into a prized collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This pursuit of rarity is what fuels the passion of numismatists, who spend countless hours studying coins under magnification, hunting for tiny imperfections that reveal a unique story of production. The historical context of the 2016 penny also adds to its appeal. This was a year of great significance in American culture and politics, as it marked the final year of President Barack Obama's administration and the contentious election that would bring about dramatic changes in the country. Coins minted during transitional periods of history often carry a certain aura, as they serve as physical reminders of the era's values, struggles, and events. For some collectors, owning a 2016 penny is not just about the coin itself, but about holding a piece of the story of America in that year. Now, let's turn to the most astonishing part of this tale, the staggering value of $9 million associated with a particular 2016 penny. How could such a small coin, worth only 1 cent at face value, command such an unimaginable price? The answer lies in a combination of extreme rarity, condition, provenance, and collector demand. While billions of 2016 pennies were minted, only a handful are believed to exist in a unique error variety that escaped the mint's quality control. These coins display extraordinary anomalies, such as dramatic double strikes, unusual planchet compositions, or mismatched dies, making them unlike any other penny in circulation. To the untrained eye, such differences might go unnoticed, but to seasoned collectors, These errors are treasures of incalculable worth. In the world of numismatics, rarity is king. When rarity is combined with historical significance, pristine condition, and intense competition among wealthy collectors, the price of a coin can skyrocket beyond imagination. Auction houses have witnessed jaw-dropping bidding wars where determined collectors, driven by both passion and prestige, raise the stakes higher and higher until the final hammer falls on an astronomical figure. This is precisely what happened with the most famous 2016 penny, which stunned the numismatic community when it sold for $9 million. The news spread rapidly, capturing headlines around the globe and sparking renewed interest in the humble penny. For those who might wonder why anyone would pay such a fortune for a penny, it's important to understand that collecting coins is not merely about monetary value, it's about history, artistry, rarity, and the human desire to preserve tangible connections to the past. Coins are miniature time capsules, carrying the weight of national identity, economic realities, and cultural milestones in their small metallic forms. Owning a coin like the 2016 penny that sold for $9 million is like owning a piece of history that will endure long after paper and digital records have faded. Even more fascinating is how stories like this inspire ordinary people to check their pocket change. Suddenly, the act of sifting through coins in a jar or examining pennies in your wallet becomes a thrilling treasure hunt. After all, who wouldn't want to stumble upon a penny worth millions? This sense of possibility has led countless people to take a closer look at their coins, armed with magnifying glasses and newfound curiosity. In this way, the tale of the 2016 penny has reignited public interest in coin collecting, a hobby that connects generations and sparks a deeper appreciation for the artistry of money. It's also worth noting that the penny, while small in denomination, carries immense symbolic weight in American culture. From the phrase, "A penny saved is a penny earned," often attributed to Benjamin Franklin, to the tradition of tossing pennies into fountains for good luck, this coin is embedded in folklore and everyday life. The 2016 penny, with its shield reverse symbolizing unity and Lincoln's portrait symbolizing leadership, captures the essence of what America stands for: resilience, unity, and the pursuit of ideals larger than oneself. When a coin like this achieves legendary status in the collector's world, it transcends its material value to become a cultural icon. As we reflect on the journey of the 2016 penny, it becomes clear that even the smallest objects can hold the greatest stories. What begins as a simple copper-plated zinc coin struck by the millions can, under extraordinary circumstances, become one of the most coveted treasures in the world. From its origins in the minting process, to its symbolism of unity, to its breathtaking sale price of $9 million, the 2016 penny is proof that history, artistry, and rarity can combine to elevate even the most ordinary item into something extraordinary. Top 3. Today, we dive deep into the fascinating world of the United States of America 1-cent coin from the year 2017, a humble penny that has carried the weight of history, artistry, and even fortune, far beyond what most people could ever imagine. By the end of this journey, you'll understand how this small coin, worth just 1 cent in circulation, can hold a staggering value of $8 million in the world of collectors. Let's begin by stepping back for a moment. The penny has always been one of the most iconic pieces of U.S. coinage. Introduced in 1793, it has undergone transformations in design, composition, and symbolism for over 2 centuries. It's not just a coin, it's a cultural emblem, a pocket-sized time capsule of American identity. The 1-cent coin has carried the faces and ideals of the nation, changing as America itself evolved. From the flowing hair design to the Indian head cent, and finally to Abraham Lincoln, it has been a coin closely tied to the country's story. Now, by 2017, the penny already had a very long and established history. The Lincoln cent had been in circulation since 1909, marking the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than an allegorical figure. Since then, Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, has become one of the most enduring and recognizable images on American currency. Think about it. Generation after generation of Americans has grown up seeing that thoughtful, Serious gaze of Lincoln on the smallest denomination coin in their change.in 2017. The obverse design still carried Lincoln's dignified profile, a reminder of his leadership during one of America's most defining chapters, the Civil War. Above his head, the word, Liberty, stood boldly, representing the ideals for which Lincoln stood. To the right, the year 2017 was inscribed, grounding this particular issue in its own time and history. And on many of the coins, just below the date, you'll find the mint mark, P, D, or S, indicating whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The 2017 penny also carried a little piece of history in a way no other Lincoln cent before it had. For the very first time in history, the Philadelphia Mint used its mint mark, P, on the 1-cent coin. This marked the 225th anniversary of the U.S. Mint, and was a deliberate choice to honor the occasion. For collectors, this was monumental. Until then, Philadelphia minted cents bore no mint mark at all. But in 2017, that changed, and suddenly, the everyday penny carried a detail that transformed it into a historical milestone. Many people didn't even notice this at first, because who really inspects their change so closely? But for numismatists, this small P meant everything. It was a symbol of heritage, celebration, and rarity wrapped into one dot on the reverse side. The design featured the Union Shield. This was part of the redesign series introduced in 2010, following the bicentennial celebration of Lincoln's birth in 2009. The shield carries deep meaning. It's reminiscent of the shields used in the Civil War, symbolizing Lincoln's role in preserving the Union. At the top, the phrase, E pluribus unum, is inscribed, translating to, out of many one, a core American value. Across the shield lies a banner proudly carrying the denomination, 1 cent. This design was chosen to represent unity, strength, and the endurance of a nation built on principles of democracy and freedom. When you hold the 2017 penny, you're not just holding a piece of copper-plated zinc, you're holding a miniature monument to history, sacrifice, and unity. Now, let's talk about the minting process. The U.S. Mint produced billions of these pennies in 2017. That's right, billions. In fact, the 1-cent coin continues to be the most heavily produced coin in the country. At first thought, this might make you wonder, how could something produced in such massive numbers ever become valuable, let alone reach millions of dollars? The answer lies in a combination of factors: rarity within abundance, minting errors, condition, collector demand, and historical context. Within a sea of billions of coins, certain variations or pristine examples stand out like diamonds among pebbles. The Philadelphia Mint, with its new P mint mark, instantly created a wave of excitement. Collectors raced to find flawless examples, especially those graded MS-70, which signifies a perfect coin with no blemishes even under magnification. The Denver Mint, as usual, also produced enormous numbers, and San Francisco struck proof versions, polished to mirror-like finishes for collectors. These proof coins, in particular, are highly sought after for their sharpness and striking detail. But every now and then, something extraordinary happens during minting, an error. And it's these errors that can propel a coin's value from pocket change to treasure. Some of the 2017 pennies featured doubled dies, off-center strikes, or misaligned designs. These mistakes, though unintentional, became golden opportunities for collectors. An off-center strike, where part of Lincoln's face is cut off or the shield is partially missing, makes the coin instantly rare. A doubled die, where the design appears to be shadowed or doubled, creates a fascinating and collectible oddity. Imagine stumbling upon such a coin in your change, realizing that what others might overlook could be worth thousands, or in rare cases, millions. Beyond minting errors, there's also the significance of preservation. Coins that are never circulated, carefully protected from the moment they leave the mint, can achieve pristine grades. These are the coins that collectors and investors pay extraordinary prices for at auctions. And it was exactly such a coin, a flawless, historically significant 2017 1 cent with its Philadelphia P mint mark, that eventually stunned the numismatic world by achieving a valuation of $8 million. Think about the journey of such a coin. Born in the presses of the Philadelphia Mint in 2017, struck to commemorate the Mint's 225th anniversary, carrying the very first PE mint mark on a cent in history, preserved in perfect condition, and possibly with a striking anomaly, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. While billions of its brothers and sisters clinked in pockets, fell between couch cushions, and rolled across grocery store counters, this one particular coin escaped the fate of circulation. Instead, it survived untouched, flawless, and imbued with both rarity and story. When such a coin reached the auction block, collectors knew they weren't just bidding on copper-plated zinc. They were bidding on a piece of history, on the symbol of the United States Mint's legacy, on a penny that was unlike any other. The excitement was electric. The bid soared. And then the hammer came down, sold for $8 million. A single penny, the smallest denomination in American currency, suddenly transformed into a priceless relic of national heritage. This incredible story reminds us of something essential. Value isn't always about size, or even original worth. Sometimes value comes from history, from rarity, from symbolism, and from the stories we attach to an object. A penny most people would dismiss as insignificant becomes extraordinary when you look closely enough. It's a lesson about appreciating the hidden treasures all around us, whether in coins, in history, or in life. So the next time you're handed change at a store, take a moment to look closely at that little brown coin. Check the date. Look for the mint mark. You might just be holding a piece of history without realizing it. Who knows? Perhaps in your palm lies the next $1 million treasure. After all, the 2017 1 cent has already proven that even the smallest, most ordinary coin can hold a value beyond imagination. And there you have it, the tale of the 2017 United States of America 1 cent coin. From its origins in Lincoln's enduring image, to the historic debut of the Philadelphia Mint's PE mint mark, to its designs symbolizing unity and strength, and finally to its stunning rise in collector value, this humble coin has carved out its place in numismatic history. It may have been minted as just another penny, but in the world of collectors, it shines brighter than gold. Its story is a testament to how deeply meaning and fortune can hide in the smallest corners of our lives. And today, this very coin, a 1 cent piece from 2017, holds a value of an incredible $8 million.